That's not what I wanted to press, damn it. Seven. It has to go here. 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2. 2 is undefinable. It's not as simple as all that. That's a 9. It has to be here because it can't be higher. And it has to be here. 9 is solved. It is not solved. Oh, here's the last 9. 9 is solved. The 1 is here. The next one is not defined. 2, 3. 3 is limited information, which also leads me to here. So 3 must be on the top, and then it also is not enough. 6 is very limited. It has to be here, which then says nothing. But it has to be here. And then it has to be, I don't know, 7 is solved. 1, undefined. I would say, yeah, I can't figure that out. 4 is extremely small info. Nothing doing. But this is a 4. So that helps. But not much. Wait, that helps because now the only place a 4 can be is here. Which means the only place a 4 can be is here. Which means the only place a 4 can be is here. Because it can't be in the bottom row because that has to be for someone else. So it has to be here. And if it can't be here, it has to be in this row, meaning in this block, it has to be here. And then 4 is undefined. 8 is here, which means 8 is here. And 8 is up or down. It's down. And so it's there. It's here. 8 is found. 3. 3 is hard, but it's here. And then it has to be here because it can't be in that column in the other position. And then it has to be here because the other 2 spaces are taken or blocked. And then it has to be here. And then that means it has to be here. And that means it has to be up here. 3 is done. 4 is the bottom, or not the bottom. But if it's between 4 and 1, 4 has to be here and 1 has to be here because 1 can't be there. Proof by contradiction. And then 1 has to be here. And then 1 can't be here or here, so it has to be here. And then 1 has to be here. And the last number is 6. And the last number is 5. And the last number is 5. And the last number is 6. And the last number is 2. And that's where another 2. And the number is 6. No. 4. No. 5. And then that's a 6. And then that's the 5. The last number is 4. And then the last number is 6. And the last number is 5. 6. Thank you for this little tidbit. We got a 6, a 4, and a 9. Let's go. Next puzzle. I didn't do the hard puzzle. I gave up last time. Let's try again today. There's a 1 here. That was easy. And then there's another 1 undefined. But here's the thing, if it's on the bottom, it has to be here or here, so it has to be on the middle in these ones, and that doesn't say a lot. And it doesn't say a lot. But if it has to be there, then if there, then it can't be there, or something. I don't know. But this is a 6. Just pull a random number out, like a 7. And then in cascade fashion, we got a 5 that looks like, I don't know. And the 2, I don't know. And the 2, I don't know. And the 1 and the 8 and the 9 and the 8. No. And then the 7. I don't know. And then 6. Very limited 6 information. Ones. No. 9 is extremely limited information, but it has to be here or here. But that doesn't help us a lot. The 2 could be in these positions and these positions. The 3 is not a lot. So, Oh God, I don't know. 5. Highly undefined. It'd be funny if it was up here. Ooh, hey, this is important. Look at this 5. So it can only be in one of two spaces, and that doesn't help. And then here it can only be in one of these two spaces. That doesn't help. And it can only be here or here. That's 3 spaces. That doesn't help. What the heck? Why is, like, where's something I can definitively work on, like 1 or something? It's almost looking like a hard. 4 is like, no. 4 is extremely not information. But then if 4, I don't know. And 4? And that leaves a space on the other side for the 4 in the middle. And then the other, wait, 2. 2 is found. If the 2 and the 2, then the 2. That is found. Okay, cool. But then that means if the 2 and the 2, then undefined. But that's something. It's interesting that we'll just bounce around and we'll find things. It's hard. So let's think about this number here. Can it be a 7? Well, if it is okay, think about this though. 7 in this column can only be either here or here, and that doesn't help us. But it does limit it. So then after that, there's a 2. Well, the 2 cannot be in this box, so the 2 could be here, and the 2 could be there. So we have 2 different possible in that square up there, 2 and 7. And then the other number is a 6, and 6 isn't able to go in the bottom, so 6 can't. So it has to be somewhere else. So that's a polarizing position. And then there's 4, and 4 could go there, but it could also go in all the other spaces. So that's not saying a lot, and I don't know. 5 is crazy open. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you think about the numbers that could go in here. It can't be 9. It could be 7. It can't be 1, 2. It could be 3. It's like, what the heck? There's a lot of unknown here. Oh wait, did I say a 2 could be here? It can't be there. Wait a second. Yeah, no, 2 can be down here or it can be up here. That's where it can be. Because there's another 2 in that block. So it can't be there. And then 6 can't be here specifically. And then the 4 can't be here. So it's like, that doesn't tell me enough. Not a 2. I would say, hold on. Of the spaces a 2 could be, it's either, in this block, it's either here or here. So that doesn't tell me enough. But because of that, and it can only be either here or here, right, in the column, it doesn't help. So it's like, oh, sheesh. There's so little information. Hmm. I think like 6 is very limited in this square, right? There can only be one 6 in one of those two spaces. Or it could be in this one. There's no there's no real full lock there or anything. Four has to be in this middle or the other middle. So because 4 has to be in the middle in there, like, obvious, doesn't help. Again, it's not enough. Ah! Drop my Kleenex box. Okay. This one's gonna take a while. This is just a medium. Okay, random numbers. 7. No. Um, well, wait, in order to get a 7 in the middle row, it's a lot easier. But if the 7, for example, can't be here, and it could be there, but it gives it more potential if the 7 is here. And also the 7 could be here. So that's 2 spaces for a 7. But it's like, there's more spaces it could be if it's in this one. So the 7 should be maybe here to simplify that. Otherwise, if the 7 is here, it hyper simplifies it. And I don't know about that. It's also highly limiting for the other blocks. But I can't be sure. The problem is I can't be sure of a lot of things. 8 feels like, okay, 8 has to be in these 2 spaces, nowhere else. And then of these 2 spaces, and 8, oh, there's an 8 here. I found one. That is a definite 8, and that means that this is an 8. Okay, that's cool. And because these are all blocked, this is an 8. Wow. It must be here. Um, and then because of the vertical is all blocked in this section, it can't be in that block for that, or that column with that block. So it has to be in this column for that block. And because the only place in that block it could be is because this one is blocked by that 8, it has to be here. Right? And then because The rest of the 8s are undefined, but we found a bunch of numbers just now. Okay, cool. That's neat. I like that. Um, like, there's a lot of, like, how does the discovery really happen? And it's interesting to think of, like, how it works. Okay, if 3, then not 3, right? But then if 3... Okay, if I put a 3 here, which is impossible, because it would place it here, that means that the only place the 3 could be is in these spaces. So it can't be there. And since the only place it can be on the bottom is in the bottom, we know approximately where all the 3's are. It has to be here, it has to be in the middle, and it can't be there specifically. So it has to be in these two spaces, meaning it has to be in these two spaces. And it does, and if it has to be in these two spaces, then these spaces are all that's left here. It's limiting, I guess. But it's not enough, I don't think. And I don't see enough. 1 is like, okay, it has to be in the top row for the 1 in that one. It has to be in the middle here, which means the alternate has to be true for the other one. So 1 cannot be here, for example. And a 4 could be there, or a 7, or a 6, perhaps. And there's a lot of candidates for that one, so it's just too much to go on. Or how about a 9? Well, it can't be a 9. Oh yeah, 9 has to be in one of these two spaces. And therefore, something, something, something. If 9 can't be here, it has to be in that it has to be in that row in some other places. And this one is the only way it can have a 9 is in this box, is in this row. So that means the other not, and here, I guess. Well, no, listen, it can only be in the row because the only other space in the row is this one, and that's blocked. So it has to be in this row, meaning, what the shit is happening? Well, that was annoying. What number was I looking at? 6? In order for a 6 to exist somewhere, it has to be in this column. So it has to be, the 6 has to be somewhere in there and not here. And if a 6 is here, if it's like in this place, is the only place it could be. There, maybe. There and there. Not a lot of information to go on. 5 is undefined. Another one of those is down to the last 2 of the 5s. And if a 5, wait, hold on. If a 5 cannot be in this row or here, then it has to be, like if it can't be here, then it has to be either here or here. So this is not a 5. Meaning it has to be here or here. Meaning the other 5 has to be here or here. And the other 5 has to be here or here. If it's here or here, it could be here or here. Obviously. 5 is not, like, proof by contradiction. 5 obviously can't be there, but that doesn't stop it from, like, having something somewhere. And it's like, I don't know. Oh my god. No, that, yeah, I thought 2 would have to be either here or there. So it can't be there, obviously. But, like, 2, but then we have 2 spaces and another one and another one. It's like, if the 2 twos, then the 2s doesn't, 2 the 2s isn't enough to 2 unless, like, if we think of the 8s as vertical, then the other 8 would be here. Again, that's another alternating space. It's just so frustrating. Like, where's the other discovery? I want to find something. Like, I wonder if there's a different method of solving Sudokus which doesn't involve simple guaranteed discovery. So let's solve for this number. It can't be 9, it can't be 3, and it could be 4, um, can't be 8, obviously, can't be 6. So what? So it's not 9, not 8, not 7, not 6, not 5. So it could be a 4 or a 2. It can't be a 2. Wait, so it has to be 4, right? We've eliminated 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 is up here, 3, 2 is crosswise, and 1. So it has to be 4. We've eliminated everything else. So that's easy. So that's another 4. That's cool. It doesn't give us a lot, but it gives us like these two. I thought of doing that before, where it's like you just go through all the numbers that a block has, and especially in a place with a lot of number density, like that's an easy fix. Like this number has not as much density. Let's look at the 2's again. If 2 here or there, and any one of these, and then here or there. So if 2 has to be here or there, right? The other number is 3, and that has to be here or there. And then 5, so 3 and 5 cannot be here. That means it has to be the 2. Ah, we are solving by contradiction and elimination, and then whatever remains must be the truth. Very Sherlock Holmes. I love it. And then we need to put a 7 somewhere, so it could be the top or the bottom number. But the 2 does help, at least. A little. Um, 7 or 6. Huh. Can we put a 6 in these two spaces? And it's like, yes. Can we put one here? Maybe. Can we put it in anywhere in this? And it's like this entire row is blocked by that 6, which is gray. So it's like it's must be these spaces or something. 6 is also blocking a lot there. If it was vertical, it would block 2 of them. If 6 has to be in this column, it can only be in this column, it can only be in this box, meaning it must be in the other box. So that's defining as, at least we know approximately where it is. It doesn't help a lot. And then so what about this number? Can it be a 9? Perhaps. Oh, wait, hold on. The only way you can get a 9 anywhere is in that column, or in that row, I mean. So it has to be there, and then the 9s block like everything but here, which doesn't help. And then so, like in order to get a 9 in this column, it could be anywhere in this column, you'd think. But man, I don't know. If it's in here, because that's the very limited space that it could be for that column and box, then means the other one is in here. And hello, cracking the cryptic conundrum. Why has my Star Trek progressed forward? I don't remember this face. That's weird. Give me a second. Okay, that wasn't that much. Okay, god dang. Discovery for this is like needle in a haystack. But if one ones, then one doesn't one. If one ones, then one is one. So 111 doesn't help. And um, god dang it, I've forgotten all the other information that I've already thought about. The twos have to be in the bottom. Somewhere. Dang it. Um, 1, the 6 equals, no. Wait, 6 is like very limiting. Like it has to be in this column, right? Maybe? No. I can't define 6. What about here? This feels busy. Let's see. 1, no. 2, no. 3, no. 4, no. 5, no. 6, no. Maybe 7, no. 8, no. 9. Okay, so this is a 6 or a 9. So considering that, the other places a 6 could go is over here. That's possible. 9 can't go there. So it's definitely not there. And the 6 could also go here. So that's 2 spaces, 3 spaces for a 6, 2 spaces for the 9. And then 4 is undefined. 5 cannot. So yeah, so it's only 2 and it's only 6 and 9 there. It's not a lot to go on. Like, you'd think this would be very easy to find because it's not 1, 2. It could be, it's not 3. It's not 4. It could be 5. It's not 6. Everything else, it could be 9. So it's like it could be 5 or 9. This one could be 6 or 9. And it's like 5 or 9. Well, if a 5 goes there, it blocks this 5, but that doesn't hurt anything yet I can think of. And then the 9 actually has to go in this row. Or, yeah, that row. So the 9 has to go in these spaces. And the 5 has to go in one of the other spaces. So that means the 5 would have to go here, really. right? I don't know, because like the 5 could go here for that thing, but for the sake of this, it's like it could go here or here, maybe here, but not likely, because you still gotta put a 5 in the lower space, so this is the only way it gets it. So it can't be here, 5 cannot be there, because you gotta put it in the lowest spots. This is the only block you can put in the lower spot. So it's 5, 5, and then here could be not either 5 or 9. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it's between 5 and 9, then the 9 has to go here, and the 5 has to go here. Right? That's pretty clear, isn't it? And then the 3 has to go here. Because like 5 is blocked in the other spaces. And then 9 was the only, if 5 and 9, then, right? 9 could be moved over and the 3 would go, no, the 3 can't go there. So everyone has blocked everyone else. So that looks correct anyway, or as best to correct as I can get it. And then the 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 3. If a 3, then a 3. Because like the 3, 5, the 5, 9, 3 sequence seems to be correct. That leaves 1 and 4 undefined, but they go there, leaving 1 in the 4 is in not here, so it has to be here. So of that, 4 is in those ones. And of the 3 remaining numbers, it's 6, 4, and 5. And 5 can't be in that block, so 5 has to be here. That was easy. Okay. And if 5 can't be in this row except for here, I guess, then it's undefined. And if 6 has to be top or bottom in order to be in that row, then it can't be middle. So therefore, the only way the 6 could be in the middle is if it's on this block or this block. The other numbers for here, okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, not 4, 5, 6 can't be there. It has to be here or there. I think it's here. No, it has to be there because it has to be in the row. It has to be also somewhere in this block in this row. So that means it can't be here, you'd think. So it has, but it's like that's not true or something. 2 and 2 is 2 and 2, which means 2 and 2 is 2, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. 6 can't be here. So that means that there's only 2 places a 6 can go. And if a 6 can't be here, that means the 6 has to be here. Wow. It's another vertical elimination leads to the last place it can be in that row. I like that method. That's cool. Okay. Neat. So then if we've locked off where it can be in rows, and if it has to be in this row for this block, then it can't be here. And if it can't be here, then it has to be here. That's a 6. And if it has to be here, it's either top or bottom. And if it has to be here, it has to be there. And there, then it would have to be there. And that would kind of make sense to assume that that's the full answer. And that's a 7. Maybe. I don't know. Oh yeah, I also had inspiration about 9, which was something about it being here for some reason. I don't know. Oh yeah, was there something about 8? Was anything resulting of that? 8 has to go up, so I don't know. How about 3? Well, 3 has to be maybe here, because literally, no, literally can't be there. So it's top or bottom, and then it's very limiting for everything else. So if a 3 would, well, obviously a 3 has to be here, so it can't be there. That means it has to be here or there, right? If a 3, then a 3. If a 3, then a 3. I don't know. I think 2 has some promise, but I'm not sure still about a lot of things. It's still neat how some, like, I wish I had the better like a better strategist, or if I had the correct ways of knowing how to like solve it. I mean, of the two of these, it's either 4 or 6. So we could run the number 4, and then we run out of, if the 4 goes there, the 6 goes here, which means the 6 would have to go here. Here. There. What the fuck? Why would... Never mind. 7 has to be vertical, so if... Wait, hold on. If a 7 has to be in this row or this row, and it can't be in any of these other spaces, it has to be here. Because the only place that you can put one, if, then it would be here and here. But that's an if. That's not sure. But if, then 7 would have to also be there. Something. Well, if the 7 is here, it would, the other 7 could be in any of these spaces. I don't know. God dang it. It's hard. Wait a second. you need a 4 somewhere in this row. All other 4 spaces are blocked. This is a 4. Okay. And that defines this as a 4 as well. Right. That's good. Yeah. No, it's another one of those where it's like that's how you find them. You look in the column and be like, well, it can't be in this position because there's a 4 in that block. It can't be in any of these because there's a 4 in that block. So that was the only place a 4 could be there. Um, the other 4s are undefined. And it's like stuff like that where it's they're freaking multi-functioning. Like if a 4 would be here, that works. But then what about the other numbers that could go here? Well, we need a 9 somewhere, and it can't be here. So a 4 could take that space instead. Well, what's the other number that needs to be there? 7. Okay, so if a 7 could go into all 3 spaces, and 9 and 4 are stuck here, like 9 can't be there and 4 can't be there, that must mean that this is a 7. That's guaranteed a 7. Also, this is the last number, son of a bitch. That's a 6. Okay. This is crazy. Um, could be a 1 somewhere. Has to be a 1 in these spaces, so that means it has to be a 1 in these spaces. So in order to get a 1 in, it's very undefined. Everything just makes sense so far. What is this? It's a 3 or something? Well, if 3, for example, then here, there, there, not sure. How many 6s are there? Okay. If, well, if a 6, then a 6. And if that's 6, then a 6. And if that's 6, that seems to satisfy all the conditions. And I forgot the original positions I thought about. Six, then 6, then 6. That works. So if 6, then undefined and undefined. The other one's more polarizing. So it's like, would you go by that? And it's like, no, I wouldn't go by that information. That's not enough. How's 2 looking? 2 is very good, or very solved. 2 has to be da 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 da. So it has to be on the bottom of those 2. And then this and 9. 9 has to be somewhere clearly. 8, very Um, undefined, undefined, extremely undefined, except for if a 3, then a 3 or a 3 must be, right? What if 3? Well, if a 3 was there, it cannot be there because it has to be in this row, and there's nowhere else it could be in this row. So it has to be there or there. So that means it cannot be there. It has to be here or here. So that's something to go off of. 3 is very limited for those 2 spots only. Not here. Okay, what about 1? 1 is, it could be here or here. So 3 and 1, what's the last number? 9. Not enough information. But if 3 is here, and the last 2 numbers in this box are 1 and 4, that means it's not a 1 and it's not a 4, so it's a 3 and a 5. And if 5 isn't defined, then the 5 has to go here or there. 3 and 5 are down there. What are these 2 numbers? It's 9 and 1, right? Yeah. I don't know. 359144265. That's silly. Okay, what are these 3 numbers? It's very specific. It's 9, 8. Well, okay. 8 has to be somewhere. It's either here or here. That's easier. I can do this. All right, so it's not in the middle. So this number could be 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could be 7. It's more likely that it is 7. Because 7s could be elsewhere. Um, oh, I just solved it because 7 has to be here because it's blocked in the other 2 places in that square. So that's a solved 7, which makes this a contradictory and therefore is not solved, and the entire puzzle is fucked. Oh, great. The entire puzzle is screwed. Oh my god. Oh, hell no. I can't just remove things. I have to remove everything and then start again. Oh, I hate doing that. Like, I would rather start from 0 on a harder difficulty or something instead of starting at, oh, for fuck's sakes. What is candidate mode? I don't know what that means. Shit. Do I even want to do this? Like, I don't know if I care. God dang it. Okay, 5. Well, alright. Something about 7 was screwed So if 7 can't be here, then it has to be in one of these other spaces. Not there. God, I forget every bit of evidence that I could ever find about anything. 1. That is a definite 1. We've solved it. That's guaranteed. And then if 1, then it can't 1, but it could 1, but then it can't 1 anywhere else in this. Oh, that's interesting. So it has to be a 1 somewhere here, right? So that means one of these has to be a 1. And I think we got to that point, but that doesn't help me anymore. Shit. 2. Another 2. 7. That is clear. There's no other way. I mean, those are gray numbers. The only place it can be in that row is there. So that's obvious. It's like, if you don't get this, you are stupid. And then there was maybe something about a 4 someplace. I don't know. Can't go on anything I've remembered. So it's like, what are these? There was something about everything. It was all led by other stuff. And it's like, has to be there. Has to be here. Something, something, something. Has to be there. Oh, God. My back feels. Why am I not watching YouTube while I do this? Okay, if 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, then 5, or 5. But if 5, and if 5, then not 5, then 5, 5, 5, something, something. Question mark. Is there anything I can think of about 4 or whatever, or 7 or anything? Oh, 6. That's obvious. 6. That's true 6. Okay. And then, so it's like, I just found a 7. I just found 1, 7, 6. Those are all correct. Guaranteed. It has to be because everywhere else is blocked and stuff. And if I just found a 6, maybe an 8's gonna pop up next. Well, an 8 has to be somewhere in the row, and Ensign Rowe is a traitor, but she wasn't. They just didn't realize what the fucking issue was, which is stupid. I mean, come on. Figure out the damn issue, and then you have, like, how do you not know these things? Where can a 6 go or something? 6 is blocked, so it has to be here or there. And then it's like 3 spaces here. Of those 3 spaces, it could be 4, 6, 8. And of those spaces, this cannot be an 8. So, and 8 cannot be here. So that means 8 has to be here. That's a found 8. Ha 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 ha. Something something question mark. Right? And that means this is a found 8. Yeah. No, that has to be correct. Well, actually, the other 8 should have came first, which defines this 8. But that doesn't matter. And then the 8, 8 is 8. And then if 8 eights, then 8 or 8. And if 8 was 8, then 8 would be 8. And so on. Monochromatic tits. If 7 doesn't, then 7 does. Like if 7 doesn't here, then it does elsewhere. And 7 could be here, which blocks a lot of it. I would leave a 7 here. Let's say 7, 7. What the shit was that? You can do candidates? That's what that means. I've been asking about that. Wait. Oh, that's TMI. I'm not gonna read all of that. Oh, God. But I mean, that's another way of solving it, I guess. Like the 5, 6 up there, or the 2, 7 there. Whereas a 2, 7, 8, that means it can't be 2, 7, 2, 7, and 2, 7. It has to be 2, 7, 8. It's 8, 8. But there's a 4. Only one of them is a 4. So that means that definitely is a 4. Right? 2, 7, 8. There's only, like, you know? Oh, that's crazy. That feels like, is this cheating? Damn it, I hate electronic Sudoku because it's these things that I could have maybe figured out on my own, and then like it just pops out, you know? Like if 6, right, is in those spaces, but then not the other spaces, and then 9 could be everywhere except for that space. And if 4 could be only in 2 spaces, that means 6 and 9 there, 4 and 7 are there. Clearly. Damn it, I don't know if I want that. Or if is that, like, how cheaty is that? Or is it too much information? And, oh God, I don't know if I feel okay about this. 6 throughout 4. Well, the only one that could be here is 4. So then that must be a 4. And then that must be a 2. And then that's 3, 9. I solved that, I think, still correctly because it cannot be both 5, 3, and 2. So there's 2 options for how that can go. Right? 5, 3, and 9, I mean. So it's 2 options for those triple state, meaning if 5, 3, and 9 must be in those bottom clearly, then that means a 5 cannot be here. And if a 4 can't be anywhere else, then that means a 4 would be here. That forces the only other number that can be there is the 1. Yeah, this is extra cheaty, technically. Yeah. These 3 numbers are in what we call a 2-state situation. But consider if we put a 5 here. That leaves only a 6 there. And if we put the 5 here, that means 5 and 6 are still open up there. So if we put the 6 here, God, this feels wrong. Wait, what's that? 7 and 6, 7, 6. That leaves the 9. Okay, here's the problem with candidates, because they say 7 could be here, but it can't, technically. Because it has to be in that column. I don't know. Six nine 6 with a 4. So that means 4 has to be here or there, so 6 9 has to be there. I don't know how I feel about this. But this is how I wanted to do it. Maybe candidate is okay. I don't know. 6 7 8. Okay. Of all the spaces in this box, 8 can only go here. So that's another limiting. Five, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. 9, 4, and 1 have to be in the top of these rows. So therefore, 5 and 3 cannot, because it has to be 9, 4, 1. So they should not candidate 9, 4, 1 as being able to, or I mean, they shouldn't have 5 and 3 be able to go there, because they can't. Because it has to be 5, 4, 1. And because it's, or something 4, 1. What? And of those, the 9 and the 8 and the 5 and 3 are guaranteed to be there, blocking off a lot of the other spaces. 5, 4, 1, 3. What is it? 9, 4, 1? Yeah, 9, 4, 1 has to be there. 8 can't because of other things. Oh my God, this is crazy. Even with this, I feel like it's still hard. 5, 9, 4, and 6. Again, that's a 2 position. So it is one of 2 states that it can be in. So five defines some things, and then locks out of others, and 7. Oh my God, I don't know how I feel about this. 7. This number 2, 3, 6, right? Up here, unclear. right? But if it's 2, 3, 6, that means of, wait, of the entire row, there's nowhere else you can put a 2. Ah, that's crazy. So that means 3, 7, and again, a 6 could be in 2 different positions in that row, and then a different bunch throughout. So that would mean it'd be 3 and 7 if it was over there, 3, 7, 5, 3, 7, 5, and 6. Of all of those spaces, 5 alternates between here and there. Shit. This is crazy. 9, 5, 1, because 1, and 1, 7, 6, 7, 6, 9. Dang it. The other question is there ever a possibility that a box has 2 possible ways that you can alternate and they'll still solve? And the answer to that is I don't know, because it's like both of them could be valid answers for the entire thing, all of the thing. Hmm. If 2 twos, 2 doesn't 2. If 2 twos, 2 doesn't 2. If 5, 6, 5 can't be anywhere else. So 5 is there. So if 2, 6, 7, 7 has to be here. 6 has to be there. 2 has to be there. Wow. Well, that solves for a lot more. 2 has to be there. Two has to be there. Nine, for whatever reason. And that defines this as 3, which defines that as 9, which defines this as 5. Collapsing that duality. Which makes this a 3. That's a 1. It collapses other 1s to be here. Possibly. Unclear. No. I don't know. Seven three 3 5 7 6 7 4 3 6 9 4 6 1 6 9. Fuck! What the shit? God damn it! Do you see that empty block where nothing can fit? What the fuck? How is that even possible? Oh my god. Well, it would be a 7, but clearly... Wait, if it can't be a 7, that means a 7 has to be in... What? Oh my god! I hate you. It's a 1. Fuck, we ended up at a freaking end state where it's like it can't be. This has to be a 7. Fuck. 4 2 Son of a bitch. Is that not an 8? This is an 8. I hate this. I don't know. You would think that would make this a 7. It doesn't necessarily make it a 7. long, silly, long, silly, silly, long, long. Eight in three positions. If there, then there. If there, two is there. That doesn't help anything. Two is not anywhere but here. Long, long, silly, long. Silly, silly, long, long. If five, then five, if five, then five, if five, then five, if five, then five. Long, long, silly, long, silly, silly, long, long. Ironically, 8 could only go here. Seems correct. 8 cannot go in that block, so it can only go there and there. 8 could go in those places that way. And over there. 1 is right here. 4. 4. Six, 7, 6, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 2, 3, 7, 3, 5, 3, 7, 6, 2, 7, 6, 3, 2, 2, 5, 6, 9, 5, 7, 9. Silly, silly, long, long, 5, 3, 5, 3, 6, 9, 6, 9, 9, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, not 4. If 7, then not 4. If 7, it must 4, right? No. Four is... If 4 cannot... Seven, 6. If 7, 6 must be in that row, 7, 6 is not in anywhere else. Technically. Whichever one it picks. One block or the other. So 7 seems to be in this column. 6 seems to be in the other one. Silly. It doesn't seem that I have enough information. This is still a binary with the remaining numbers of 4 and 1. And 4, if it's here, means there's a 4 there. There are some methods that are like for how to figure this out that I'm not getting. But something must give. It's not enough. 8. 2 spaces for 8, 7. But then there are 2 spaces for 3, 6. And then 3, 5. But then in this whole thing, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 is all a double position. One of 2 spaces satisfies all of that. But if it does, it collapses a lot of other things. So if I collapse 3, 5, 7, 6, 8, then like if I put a 5 here, nine, 3, 5, doesn't collapse enough to fully answer everything or whatever else. Does it? 8. Oh, that was already a solved 8, I thought. And then 8 if 8, 8 if 8, 8 if 8. 1, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 7, 3, 7, 9. If 3, 7, 9, 5, 5, 2, 2, 5, 5, 3, 5, 3, if 3, 5, 2, 2, 5, 3, and 3 alternate, and 9, 7, 9, 2, 5, 3, 6. Of the 6s in this block, few 6s, something, then nothing. Well, the 1, 6 would solve for the other 7, 6 pair, which would help maybe something. But it's a hope, not a surety. And then 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 7, 2, 7, 4, 7, 6, 7, 6, 6, 4, 7, 7, 2. 2 up or down, 2 up or down. 2 left or right. Two. Wait, 6? Does that help? No, but it's found, so that's cool. I hope. Frick. Long, silly. If 6, then 9 collapses. So it has to 9, then 6, then 7, and 4. 6. Okay, that's something. And that collapses something else. What the fuck? Oh my god, this block is now fucked. Oh my god. If it's 4, then it's not 4, so that's the only thing that can happen. Anytime, well, if this is a 4-6 pair, and this is only a 4, then that's a 7, and a 7 pair, which doesn't work because only one of them can be 7, so that means nothing again, and this is also nothing, which means this 6 and that 9, switch them. Does it satisfy now? No, it doesn't. Fuck. What? If 9, then 6. No. I'm getting frustrated with this puzzle. I end up in similar states and positions because I start with the 1 has to go there. That's the only thing I'm 100% sure of besides this 7, which has to go there. Candidate. Like, it's so freaking frustrating. So if I6 doesn't collapse anything, that's a 4, which collapses the 2. Which means this is an 8. This is an 8. Eight. My methodology is if this must be 6, 9, then 6, 9, 7, 4 is more likely to be 7 and 4 than 6, 9. And these are 5s, which block other 5s. Something 6, 9 if proposal for 9. 6. Fuck. Well, then that's not the configuration, then, is it? What? Why wouldn't it let me undo anymore? And if it's this 9, then that's the 6. That's a 7. That's a 4. That's a 9. That's a 5. That's a 3. That's a 9. We've been there already. What the shit? これしかないや、僕には 6. Silly long. Silly long. I swear to God. Of the 1 freeze, this is not a 7. So that means 1 free must be there and in one of those other positions tied with the 7. So 1, 3, 7. So if 7 goes here, you can only put 1 and 3, and you can only have them in one of the 3 spaces. So this cannot be a 6, or this cannot be a 7. It has to be 6 or 4. Well, this is a 4, so then that can't be that other thing I just said or something. This is a 6. Here we go. 1, 3, 7. Then not 7 must be 6. Well, if 1, 3, 7 have to be there, there isn't like another number it could be. So the 7, if this is 7, 6, then the 1, 7 has to be at the top. So this is a 6. It's the only way that makes sense. 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Of the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, there aren't 3 numbers that can go there. It's gonna fail if I do this, unless it's one of the other numbers. And 1 and 2 and 3, 2 leaves the 1 and the 3, and 5 or 6. Oh my God. If 5, if 6, if 7, then 3, if 7, then 8, 7, 2, 3. This is the only place a 2 is, versus everywhere else in the square. That collapses the 9. That means it cannot be a 2 in any of these spaces. That's less things it can be. 1 cannot be in something, something, something. 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, 8, 7, 4, 8, 9, 7, 4, 6, 8, 4, 1, 7, 8, 4, 8, 9, 6. This is the only one that is a 6. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 2, 2. Wait, hold a second. We have 2 and 2, 7. 7, 1, 3. 2, 2, 7, 7, 1, 3, 8, 7. damn it. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 8, 1. Even with all of this, I'm not sure I'm even on the right track. But let's say that I did something like 1 or 4, then that collapses nothing. But if 1 or 4, then 1 or 4 are not options here. They have to be on the top. Ignore them and you have 3, 8. And that's only 2 options. And then if you define those as, that would leave this one to be a 1. But it doesn't, wait, if this is a 5, 3, then that means 3 can't be in the top. Meaning it has to be somewhere like here or something. God dang it. Seven, 8, 7, 8, 2, 7, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay. Of these 5s, the only one that satisfies a 5 in this column is here. So that's a 5. Meaning it couldn't have been anywhere else. We hope. It seems that's how that is. 1, 7, 1, 3, 1, 7, and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 7, 2. Obviously those are the 4 numbers in this square, but like it doesn't help us for the rest of everything. Except for if we say 1 or 3, then it clearly this is a 1 or a 3, and that leaves, for example, this to be 7. I don't know. Oh, that's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 7. The hell, that's a 5. 3, 9, 7, 5, 8, 9, 1, 8. Okay. If 1, 2, if 1, 4, if 2, then not 2, 3, if not 2, 2, 3, if not 3, 3, 7, 7. This is the only 7 in that block. Collapsing nothing. That's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 9. That's a 3. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 4. 1, 8, 6, 5, 1, 7, 4, 3, 5, 7, 3, 4, 2. I'll take it, 'cause suck me off. God damn it. And now on to the hard puzzle. We're gonna auto-candidate the shit out of this. And we're gonna say, is there anything that we can neatly resolve? And holy shit. Obviously, there's no single answer for anything. Everything has 2 or more answers. So let's maybe try this in another live stream.